Let's talk about this video, and yeah, can already tell what most of the comments are going to be. What is up, Finn fans? We are going to be talking about the biggest disappointments of the 2020 season. Also, before we get into that, I'm also going to talk about what's going on at the Senior Bowl. I didn't talk much about it yesterday. Well, things came out yesterday because I was busy. But today I'm going to talk about some of the things that happened yesterday and today in the Senior Bowl. Also, be sure to check out my guys at patchvibes.com. They have a ton of great stuff. They came out with a ton of new merch. So be sure to go over there, check it out, use the promo code FREEPATCH. You get the 25th anniversary patch. So let's talk about the Senior Bowl first. And then I'm going to talk about the biggest disappointments. And I'm going to give you guys a disclaimer before I talk about the biggest disappointment. So let's talk about the Senior Bowl, right? Yesterday and today, the Dolphins are there coaching their side of the Senior Bowl. And today, Studsville and Godsey are doing dual offensive coordinator jobs. So today it was Studsville. Yesterday was Godsey. I honestly don't know if they're going to go from the inside. I don't know if they're going to promote from the inside. It doesn't seem likely. I don't know, though, just because if they brought in quarterbacks coach from the outside, and if they were going to go from the inside, why didn't they do it already? So I don't know if they're going to go from the inside, but they're both doing duty, so I honestly kind of see this as like a tryout for these two guys to see how they do in the Senior Bowl. But I think that Brian Flores even said that he's doing his due diligence and he's looking and he's being very thorough with finding his new offensive coordinator. So I appreciate that. Also, he talked about yesterday about Devontae Smith, and a lot of people either want him at 3, a lot of people either don't want him at 3, and some people like myself would prefer a trade back and still take him. There's possibilities of trading back to 5 with the Cincinnati Bengals if Sewell's still there, maybe 7 with the Detroit Lions so they can get their quarterback, and then you either take Jamar Chase or you take Devontae Smith if they still end up in that 7 position. But this is what Brian Flores had to say about Devontae Smith. He says you can't nitpick. You can nitpick all you want about a guy's size. Good players are good players. This guy is a very good player, made a lot of plays in college and especially in big games. And yeah, you can nitpick about a guy's size. Is he undersized? Is he skinny? Is this, that, and the other? But he makes plays, and he makes plays in big games, and that is incredibly important. Look at Wes Welker, who is a very undersized guy. Look at Julian Edelman, who's a very undersized guy. They made plays where it had to have been done. So even Tyreek Hill, undersized guy. All these guys are very undersized guys. And if you could go back in time, I'm pretty sure Tyreek Hill wouldn't make it out of the first round. He probably wouldn't make it out of the first 15. So if the guy can make the plays, if the guy can do what he needs to do, then take him. But we'll see. Again, like I said, I would probably prefer to trade back. I'd prefer to get more more draft picks, and next year. If we can get another first and have 2 firsts next year and just continue to put first round picks on our table, I'd love that. Real quick, I want to talk about some of the guys that are popping out to me from the Senior Bowl. Now, I'm not going to name 500. I got 3 right here. And the first one is offensive guard / center David Moore. Really showing some great things in the Senior Bowl. Obviously, Creed Humphrey, the center. I'd love for the Dolphins to get him with their first, second round pick if he's still there. I think he would be a fantastic center for us. And then, Ted Karras is a free agent, so we'll see what they do with that. Also, Demetric Felton. He's a running back / wide receiver. And you know how Brian Flores likes to take these guys and plug them into all these different places. I'm watching him play. He's burnt some of these corners. He's been playing really well in the slot. He's also been playing really well in the backfield. Demetric Felton. Keep an eye out for him. So David Moore, Creed Humphrey, Demetric Felton are some of the guys that are really popping out at me. And obviously there's big names there, but these are some of the guys that I'm like, let me write these names down when I start doing mock drafts and stuff like that. But that's what I got from the Senior Bowl. Let's jump into the biggest disappointments of the 2020 season. And before we get into this list, just so for people who are going to get all mad or people who are going to give this video thumbs up, I'll save you the time of watching the video fully. Like you got your Senior Bowl stuff, which I'm pretty sure you guys wanted, so you got that out of the way. But before, I won't waste your time to watch the top, disappointments. If you want, you can thumbs down the video. Tua is not on this list. Oh, why? Tua sucked this year. Tua's horrible this year. Tua's a bust this year. Tua is not disappointment. This is my list. Hey, you can have him number one on your list. You can have just a list and have just his name on it as many times as you want. By all means, that's your list. This is my list. He didn't disappoint me. I didn't have him coming in this season and having this high expectation of, oh, he's a 5th overall pick. He needs to produce. He needs to be this. He needs to be that. Because I've seen top 5 picks struggle and end up being really good. And I've talked about this time and time again. I can raffle off a list of top 5 quarterbacks that struggle and then end up being really good because they just need some time. So I do not think that Tua's rookie season is a disappointment. For one, it's his rookie season. For two, look at all the stuff that all these rookies had to deal with. I have no rookies on my disappointment list because they're rookies. Got to give them at least 3 years to see what they can do. That's the norm. So no. Did he have a year like Herbert? No. And I'm not saying he did, but it doesn't qualify him as a disappointment in my mind. So no. To save you the time for watching the full video, if you want to comment, hey, you're stupid, you don't know what you're talking about, by all means, like I said, I have the video breakdown coming out this weekend to show that he wasn't a disappointment this year for me. I think he played solid. Yes, he had some bad games, but for a rookie who was dealing with rehabbing all offseason, no training camp, no, the wide receiver, you'll see what I'm talking about, but no, Tua is not on this list. So let's get to the list. So like I said, they're not in any specific order of like, this is the most disappointment to the least disappointment. It's just, I'm disappointed in some of these guys. And we're going to start with the obvious, and this is Jordan Howard. We bring in Jordan Howard. I had high expectations for him. Maybe I shouldn't have, but he didn't play well the last 2 years, but the more I saw his earlier stuff, I'm like, hey, there's a possibility. Maybe we can get him going. No. And even when they gave him the chance, even with injuries and, all right, Jordan Howard, you're the guy, it still didn't happen. So it wasn't necessarily, hey, they're not giving him the chance because they gave him games. It didn't happen for Jordan Howard. And the fact that he hasn't really played much on other teams, he went back to the Eagles. It just shows maybe he just doesn't, he needs that fire back in him. But Jordan Howard is a disappointment. I was excited when we signed him, bringing some running back help, and it just didn't pan out. My next disappointment, I wouldn't, if I had to make a most to least, he's my least disappointed, but I'm still a little disappointed in this guy just because he got burnt a lot. That's Byron Jones. I don't think he's bad, but I'm disappointed. I'm a little disappointed. He's making about $16 million a year. He did fantastic with the Dallas Cowboys. He did well with us, right? I'm not saying he didn't do well, but I'm disappointed because he gave up a lot of big plays. Now, could that be on the pass rush? It's a possibility. But watching how Xavier Howard play and seeing how Byron Jones a few times looked like he was tripping over himself, I'm a little disappointed with Byron Jones. I think he'll do better. I think, with the amount of he was banged up during the 2-week training camp, and he was banged up a little bit. He got knocked out of the Bills game. I think that took a toll on him. So I'm hoping he has a Xavier Howard type season next year where he bounces back and just shuts people down. He did have 2 interceptions this year, so I'm happy about that. But I'm just, like I said, I'm a little disappointed by we bring him in and he didn't kind of live up to that. My next disappointment of the 2020 season is Jesse Davis and Eric Flowers. Now, Jesse Davis, why, Doug? Why are you disappointed in Jesse Davis? He sucked. Well, because he didn't suck that much last year. He actually was pretty solid last year. Eric Flowers came in, kind of did better, but this offensive line struggled. They had 3 rookies starting, right? So I didn't even have the offensive line as the biggest disappointment because you're starting 3 rookies, it's going to struggle. But the fact that the rookies played better than the vets, that's where the disappointment comes in. And that's why I have these 2 guys on there, because the rookies played better than you. Now, Ted Karras, he didn't play bad. He's not on the list because he didn't play bad. I don't even think he really gave up any sacks. It was mostly Jesse Davis and Eric Flowers. And especially when Eric Flowers got knocked out and then Solomon Kinley went to left guard, all of a sudden the run game started clicking and started producing. That's the game where Ahmed had 100 yards rushing against the New England Patriots. They took Solomon Kinley, put him at left guard. So I think they should keep Solomon Kinley at left guard. But again, Solomon Kinley struggled. Robert Hunt struggled. Austin Jackson struggled. But they're rookies. So like I said, I don't have any rookies on my disappointment list. But the fact that these rookies did better than the vets, a little disappointed in that. So I have that. The next thing that I'm disappointed in with the 2020 season, the wide receiver core. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, what are you talking about? You know, we have some good wide receivers. We do. But they disappointed me. Preston Williams got injured. Devontae Parker regressed after 2019 season where he put over 1,000 yards, completely regressed, whether it's because he got banged up again, whether it's because he was in his head, whatever. But then once those guys went out, you know, you'll see in the video breakdown of Tua, there was times where the wide receivers didn't know where to line up. And you'll see, I have a specific clip to show you where even Mike Gesicki's yelling at Grant, you're on the wrong side. Go to the other side. Like, so the wide receiver core, the struggle, and I had such, you know, with Preston Williams, with Devontae Parker, Jakeem Grant, and then, you know, Bowden started coming into his all. Yes, unfortunately, Allen Hurns and Albert Wilson opted out. But even with those receivers, you know, they played well, but then all of a sudden it just disappeared. And a lot of people are, I know, in the comment section are going to be like, it was Tua's fault. Tua didn't throw contested balls. Tua didn't push it down the field. Tua's check down man, which, again, when I show you the film of it, you'll be surprised how many contested balls he threw and how many times he pushed it down the field. But my point is, it wasn't Tua, because against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Devontae Parker and Mike Gesicki disappeared. Against the Jets, the second half, they all disappeared. There was games where Fitz was in there and the wide receivers didn't produce. Jacksonville, Seattle, the Jets, and there was one other game where they just didn't produce. They just disappeared. So it wasn't a Tua thing. It was what's going on with these wide receivers thing. So the wide receiver core. And then my last thing that disappointed me was the pass rush. I had high hopes for the pass rush. And Emmanuel Ogbah, he's kind of lumped in with this. You know, he led the team with 9 sacks, which is fantastic. I wish he would have got one more sack to have double-digit sacks. 11th, tied for 11th in the NFL with 9 sacks. But he had stints. He had 4-game stint where he had no sacks. He had a 2-game stint at the end of the season. He had no sacks. Emmanuel Ogbah leads the team in sacks, right? Jerome Baker, Kyle Van Noy, Andrew Van Ginkel are the next 3 with 7, 6, and 5. Shaq Lawson had 4 sacks. Zach Seiler had 3.5. I think Landon Roberts, Christian Wilkins had 1. Like, the Miami Dolphins were led the league in blitzing because our pass rush and our front 4 couldn't get the job done on their own. That's why you see Jerome Baker has 7 sacks. He's second in the team with sacks because we had to blitz to get pressure on these quarterbacks. Because if not, these quarterbacks had so much time to throw the ball that our corners, a.k.a. Byron Jones, that's why, like I said, I'm a little disappointed, but I understand. He was getting burnt because Card would just stand there. Josh Allen had all the time in the world to throw the ball. Same thing with Russell Wilson. Same thing with all of these quarterbacks. They had so much time to throw the ball because there wasn't a legit pass rush coming from our front 4. So that is my list of disappointments. It's not as long as my list of surprises, which I was very surprised with this team. I was very happy with this team. A lot of people were like, we didn't make the playoffs. The season's a failure. I disagree. Going from 5-11 to 10-6, I'm very happy with this team. I'm very happy with the way the team is going. I'm very happy with the trajectory the team is going. A lot of my disappointments are fixed or fixable, right? Jordan Howard's not on the team anymore, so that disappointment's gone. Byron Jones, I think he will do better once he gets healthy and once we get a legit pass rush. Jesse Davis, Eric Flowers, I don't even know if they're going to be on the team next year. I think Eric Flowers will, but I don't know about Jesse Davis. The wide receiver core is going to get Betty. They're going to get better. I think Preston Williams is going to come bounce back. Hopefully he stays healthy. Same thing with Devontae Parker. We're going to add some more players to that. In the pass rush, I see the Dolphins adding more to that. So, yes, it's disappointment, but this is a for now disappointment. So be sure to comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I can already tell there's going to be some Tua. Tua's the biggest disappointment because he sucks. And it makes me laugh that's all you got. Have some constructive criticism. Because the guys who do, I appreciate and I read it. But yeah, I could expect some of those comments that Tua should be on the list. He's not. He's a rookie. No rookies on this list. Not that he didn't disappoint me. Might disappoint you. He didn't disappoint me. And that's not because I'm a Tua lover, I'm a Tua stan, whatever the heck that is. I'm a Tua whatever. No. Just because I give people time to develop. Just like the people gave other quarterbacks time to develop. Either they develop into an elite player or they develop into mediocrity. They develop into hot garbage and they move on. Let's see what happens with Tua. But be sure to comment below, and I'm going to get to one of you guys' comments of the day. You guys on Twitter, hit me up with comment of the day. And this one comes from Ryan. Ryan says, comment of the day for OC, who would you rather choose, Studsville or Dorsey, or do you believe Pep Hamilton is still a choice for Brian Flores? I don't know about Studsville. I don't know, or Studsville, however you say his name. I don't know if he is going to be the guy. Like I said, they're probably giving him an audition right now at the Senior Bowl, but I feel like if he was the guy, they would have done it by now, if that makes any sense. I do like Ken Dorsey. I like what he did with Josh Allen. Josh Allen was very inaccurate and not that great. His rookie season wasn't great at all, but Ken Dorsey helped him out, pushed him in the right direction, and made him kind of into the quarterback who we see today. So I do like Ken Dorsey. And then when it comes to Pep Hamilton, he's still available. I know the Dolphins I think he was on the list of OCs that they were potentially looking at in Pep Hamilton. So we'll see how that all pans out. But internally, like I said before, I don't know if they're going internally, because if they are, why not do it already? What are you waiting for? So I think they're bringing an outside source in. And a lot of you guys ask, Ken Dorsey, why is Ken Dorsey consistently being brought up? I don't hear any news of the Dolphins' interest in Ken Dorsey. I don't see the Dolphins bring him into interview. You are correct. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they're bringing him in or the Dolphins have shown interest. I'm saying I'm interested. I want to bring in Ken Dorsey. A lot of people have tweeted at me saying, "Oh, Ken Dorsey followed, the Dolphins on Instagram and Twitter. He also followed certain players. He started following Dolphin things. What does that mean, Doug?" And also, the Seattle Seahawks went in a different direction with their offensive coordinator, so Ken Dorsey isn't going to interview with them. So there's a lot of things that are happening with Ken Dorsey. We'll see. Dolphins might be keeping it close to the chest because no one really knew that they were going to bring in Chan Gailey, and all of a sudden, Chan Gailey was our offensive coordinator. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Pep Hamilton is still available for the Dolphins if they want to. But right now, I think they're letting Chris Greer do his thing, or they're focusing on the Senior Bowl. I honestly don't know. At this point, if they want Ken Dorsey, they can go get him. So I don't know. I think they're probably focusing on the Senior Bowl, and they'll probably do it after this weekend. They're bringing their OC. But that's the video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Like I said, the next video is the big video. It's the video breakdown of Tua Tagovailoa's rookie tape, all 22 film, no highlights. Again, you'll see. I'll show you the difference between the highlights and the all 22 when I do the video. That'll be out this weekend. Very, very big, important video. It's going to be a long one, so grab yourself some snacks, some drinks, sit back, watch, and yeah, other than that, I'll see you in that video. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.